Thank you very much, Bill. Butler still doing all those things he's done over the many years, getting on base with the best and scoring runs with the best. 323, 3 homers, 21 runs batted in for Brett. A test for any pitcher right at the leadoff spot, and he lines it foul. Strike one. Butler has walked 50 times. He is a tremendous table setter for the power men in the middle of the Dodger lineup. And it's a fine lineup. The Dodgers are hitting .280 as a team. Caminetti's in tight on Butler. He just moved a step towards second. And that pitch taken outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Dodgers swept the Astros in the 3 games in Los Angeles. Tom Lasorda's club, when it swept Houston, began a 7-game winning streak. But lately things have not been so good. Dodgers, like the Astros, have lost their last 2 series. It's 2 balls and a strike. Lasorda's club with 12 wins and 22 losses against the Astros since the end of the '91 season. Hasn't won a season series from Houston since '88. Butler lines it past Biggio into right field. Well, the Dodgers have a man on who has stolen 15 bases, and he continues to do all those things so well to get aboard. Caminetti's in tight too for DeShields, with the infielders pulled in a double play depth. And again the throw to first base. Shane really pitched a fine game at Los Angeles in May. He lost 1-0 to Pedro Estasio. That was his first start coming out of the bullpen, and he gave up a home run to Raul Mondesi in just 2 hits in 7 innings.
A lot of times, Bill, a good base runner will take a huge lead when he's not intending on going, so he can see the good move, and then he won't take as big a lead when he wants to steal, so that he can get maybe a little running walking lead towards second base. And that's what I noticed Butler does. He'll get way out there when he wants to look at the move. So he's seen 2 good moves already by Reynolds.
He has 15 of the Dodgers 47 stolen bases. Delino DeShields has 16 of them. And there's a great pitch. It's 0-2. So Shane, the 26-year-old right-hander from Louisiana, tries to get this man, and a balk is called. He must not have stopped long enough.
No,
Butler going to second.
You're right. That's the call.
No balls, 2 strikes now. And on a breaking ball, DeShields whiffs. 1 out. Mike Piazza's next. He is second in runs batted into Jeff Bagwell with 65.
I put him in Bagwell's class. I'd almost put him on first.
He swings at one in the dirt. Good breaking ball for strike 1. Piazza, with that high batting average, really checks in with similar figures to Jeff. And this catcher has delivered a tremendous offensive bonus. He's hit 2 grand slams this year already. Co-player of the month for the month of May in the National League. He had started every game behind the plate since May 29th until Wednesday, and he got a day off. 25 years old and all that talent. Bouncer, Biggio over, and that is out number 2 with Butler advancing to third. There's again the good curve. Shane didn't have the curve working in his last start against San Diego, but survived. Wallach won for his last 12, but his numbers are very good this year. Driven in 52 runs already. He only had 62 all of last year. And now the split. Wallach is running into tough pitching here, Bill.
I'll tell you, those are 2 of the toughest pitches that Shane has thrown here in the first inning. You got to be careful with Wallach because pretty good hitter. The bottom fell out of that.
Hit a big 3-run homer to win a game in San Diego to open that series 3-2. Now Service smothers that one. It's a ball and 2 strikes, and Wallach has really given protection to Piazza in the Dodger order this year. When Reynolds faced the Dodgers, he retired the first 15 men in Los Angeles. He's 1-2 in his career against the Dodgers. Got his first major league win against this team in September of '92 at Dodger Stadium. It hits Wallach.
Oh boy, that's a mistake, and you know Shane was trying to pitch inside.
Henry Rodriguez is at first base. There was a last-minute lineup change. Eric Karros was scratched. Rodriguez taps it foul, strike one. He's had his legions of supporters and has really responded to this first extended playing time in the majors. Service has problems with that one. Rodriguez had a 2 RBI game in Los Angeles against the Astros, first game of that series. Ground ball, Biggio. He's playing deep and right there to make the play. No runs, a hit, 2 men left, and after 1/2 inning, no score. Martinez, with that 6-3 record, has been one of the stalwarts in the starting rotation for the Dodgers. They've had a good rotation this year. They're first in the league in complete games, but the bullpen has been their big problem area so far. So they ask those starters to go deep into the games quite often. Martinez goes to work on James Mouton. Mouton has regrouped a little bit at the plate. Tried to bunt and missed, strike one. He did some work in Denver with Dave Hudgens, the minor league roving instructor for the Astros. Mouton's hitting .243 with a homer and 10 runs batted in. He changed some things about the way he's distributing the weight. He'll come back on his back leg a little bit more as the pitch is almost ready to be delivered.
You know, I noticed something here tonight too. Isn't he a little closer to the plate than he was out in Colorado? I noticed. I watched you guys on television in Denver, and he was way away from the plate. Now look how close he is here. He wasn't able to reach the outside pitch.
Well, he's made that adjustment, so we'll see how it goes for him. And Wallach, diving stop, comes up with a play on Mouton. That's what's been happening. James has been hitting the ball more sharply, but he's hit it close to some infielders, and he's been thrown out.
Well, I know another third baseman who can make this play, and that's Ken Caminiti. Boy, I thought he was on first base, and just a beautiful play by Wallach. He's still got a lot of leather at third.
Well, Mouton retired, although he got a good swing at Martinez. Now Biggio takes a shot. The fastball is ball one from the hard throwing string bean right-hander. 6'4", 175, 26 years old, from the Dominican. Biggio slipped a little below 300 now. A strike call makes it a ball and a strike. Jerry Davis is behind the plate. Biggio at 297, 2 homers, 27 runs batted in. That's foul back, 1-2. Craig has been a very consistent performer this year again. Last couple of weeks, though, his batting average has fallen off some. He's hit only 196 for the last 2 weeks. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Martinez is 5-2 in his career against Houston with an ERA of 3.33. Had a no decision in Los Angeles against the Astros earlier this year. That is strike 3 call. Steamed in the fastball knee high for out number 2.
When you see this, usually it's a hitter looking for something else, and he may have been looking for a breaking pitch. He got the fastball and it just couldn't pull the trigger.
Martinez faces one of the top performers in the major leagues right now, Jeff Bagwell. Hop on his back and go for a merry ride. That's what it's been so far this year with numbers like that.
I tell you, it has to make you sick. I know. I looked at the All-Star, but voting is out again. How can Jeff Bagwell be 5th?
We just don't have an explanation for that question.
I mean, even the fans, if you're voting in another city and you put him 5th in the balloting, your conscience has to hurt you. I just don't know how in the world, if this goes on like this, and Biggio is way down, Mariano Duncan is leading for second baseman, but you're going to have to think about changing that voting if it continues this way.
That's a thought. Bagwell strikes out. Martinez really did some surgery on him there and posts a scoreless first inning.
Due to time constraints, we'll now go to the bottom of the second inning.
There is strike 1 to Caminiti from Martinez. The changeup is outside, 1-1. When Terry Collins bumped everybody up in the order, with Steve Finley being hurt, Biggio going to second, Bagwell third, Caminiti to fourth. It meant that Caminiti had to provide that protection behind Jeff. Line drive to right, Mondesi, and he'll play it on a hop off the wall. And it's a high carom, so Caminiti makes it easily to second base.
Man, Bill, did he tomahawk that pitch?
Caminetti at second. Gonzalez 0 for his last 24.
I can't believe that. You know, he just got too good a bat. You know he's going to end up around 300 before the year's over. And we know also that he's been streaky at times, but I thought at the end of last season he showed consistency the final 2 months of the season for the first time in his career, and I thought that would be it.
That's a good point you're bringing up, because he was more consistent in the second half last year. In tight. Well, now Martinez has worked him soft away and hard ins. He pulls it and does his job. Well, on this occasion he's now 0 for 25, but the team appreciates what he just did. Andujar Cedeno takes a fastball for strike one. Cedeno's driven in 28 runs, trying to give the Astros the lead here with a runner at third and one out, and the infield is playing back with Mike Felder on deck. Cincinnati is trailing at the moment 1-0 at home to San Diego in the third. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I'm just glad you guys got out of Denver alive.
Ooh, 2 balls and a strike. 0-0 game. We're in the second. Cedeno on an off-speed pitch is out in front, and it's 2-2 now. 2-2. Cedeno fouls it. And a foul ball keeps the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And it gets by. Caminetti's coming home. Short toss to the pitcher. Covering safe. Caminetti slid under the tag. The ball carried him right back to Piazza, and the Dodgers had a good chance to get him.
With a big run.
Way outside, ball 4. Mike Felder has switched uniform numbers. Looks a little different. He's wearing number 51 instead of 28. Willie McGee, who wore 51, was a good friend of his. Martinez tries to throw him a lot of sinking fastballs away. That's the way Piazza was set up on that last one. Now he's coming in tight and hits a ground ball. Force play at second. Offerman returns. Safe at first. Service fouls it back. Strike one. Glad that Scott is healthy again. He's had a couple of injury problems in the last month. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, he's starting to pile up the at bats now. It'd be hard to move that batting average up in a hurry if he doesn't start getting some hits.
Tony Eusebio's been getting more and more playing time in the past month, but a lot of that was due to the fact that Scott was not healthy. And he is such a good handler of the pitching staff that keeps him in that lineup.
Watch Felder getting a little bigger lead.
Service batting 8th. Martinez wants to get him in the worst way to end this inning now and face the pitcher leading off the third. Felder stretching his lead a little bit, and the ball is fouled. He was making a move as if he thought about going. A ball and 2 strikes. Pirates got 3 in the first at New York off Doc Gooden on a 3-run homer by Dave Clark. And the Pirates are still not totally out of the situation in the Central Division. They can hang around and be a factor. Jim Leyland's team usually is a tough team to beat in the second half of the season. Montreal whipped Florida 9-0 with a 6-run 8th. 1-0 Astros here in the second. Felder starts and stops, and the pitch is a ball. It's 2-2.
You know, when I'm scoreboard watching, I like to keep an eye on Montreal too, because with the new alignment now, you're looking at a wild card possibility, and that's a team that the Astros could battle all season long for the wild card.
And Montreal would be the wild card if the season ended now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Now, you talked about the Central and Western Division, Bill, and those divisions are highly competitive right now, but first place teams don't have a very respectable winning percentage in those divisions at the moment.
No, they don't.
Cincinnati .586 and Los Angeles .507 leading those two divisions. Felder starts and stops again, and it's strike three call on service to end the second.
Due to time constraints, we'll fast forward to the bottom of the third inning.
They're in that mood. Shane Reynolds looks at ball one. Shane has 2 hits and 15 at bats, and he's driven in 2. He's been a good bunter, but now trying to hit his way on. Puts it in the air to right field. Mondesi playing very shallow right there. Mouton puts down a beautiful bunt. Martinez won't make a throw. Now Biggio bats. Biggio lines it left field corner. Mouton is heading for third. He's getting the go-ahead from Matt Galante, and he will score easily to make it 2-0 on a Biggio double.
Okay, Biggio.
Well, Biggio has knocked in run number 2. Now he's on for Jeff Bagwell, who struck out in the first. Biggio got the bat around quickly on an inside fastball there.
He really did. That's good hands on his part. Get the head of that bat out.
Martinez misses outside, ball 1. We mentioned that Ramon had a 6-game winning streak earlier this year, and that ended in his last start. During that winning streak, he had back-to-back shutouts along the way against St. Louis and Florida. Gave up 4 runs in 9 innings in a 10-inning win over Houston. He got no decision in Los Angeles. 1-1 to count, but Martinez has pitched a couple of shutouts against the Astros in the past. He is quite capable of a real gem, so the Astros breaking through against him early is a positive sign for an offense which struggled some on the road trip.
Yeah, he's got such a good live arm. The ball moves so well that you really got to be on as a hitter to hit this guy. Boy, look at that Bagwell. He scares you just the way when you look down to your catcher.
1-1 to count.
Boy, what a perfect pitch that is.
It was that. 1 ball and 2 strikes from the lanky right-hander. We'll see it again.
And I think what makes Jeff such a good hitter is it's hard to fool him. He doesn't swing at a lot of bad pitches, so you have to come after him. And that was just one of those perfect pitches. You got to let that go by.
Might as well. Jeff's a good 2-strike hitter too, so we'll see if he shortens up a little bit here. Target outside. 2-2, and that's probably the key to Bagwell's tremendous success. Bill, what you've just pointed out, he didn't go for that pitch that was on the outside corner for strike 2. He might have hit a weak ground ball to the right side if he had. He'll take his chances with 2 strikes.
Pitchers get that in the scouting report, so they know they can't waste anything on him. And it puts more pressure on the pitcher so that he's likely to make a mistake in this situation more than not. You know, when you've got a hitter up there and you know he will swing at bad pitches, you don't have to come in with a good pitch.
They're certainly playing him to pull in the Dodger outfield.
I'll tell you, with first base open, if I'm a pitcher, I'm not going to give him anything good to hit here. I'll try to go for the black part of the plate again. Now, Martinez having a little trouble getting together with Piazza on the signals. But I'd see if I could try to get the pitch in that same location he did a couple of pitches back. I'll take my chances. Well, he just can't. I think they're having problems with a runner on second. You change your signals up, and apparently Martinez is not reading Piazza very well.
Nope.
Or maybe Martinez is saying, I don't know whether I want to pitch to this guy or not.
They are not on the same page, that's for certain. There was a long delay there. Ron Pernoski, the pitching coach, has watched this Dodger rotation get the team off to consistently good 5, 6, 7 inning starts. Bullpen the only thing really holding the Dodgers back lately.
Yeah, what did Tommy say? My best closer is whoever starts.
2-2 the count. Bagwell shoots it up the middle. Biggio's coming home. Brett Butler will not make a throw. It's 3-0. 69 runs batted in.
He's like a machine, isn't he?
And he showed you why there with that sequence. Laid off the tough pitch for strike 2, and he got a better one for his hit.
Well, he just is like a machine. I've never seen anybody hit. He just hits all kinds of pitches. Now, they decided to stay on the outside corner, but with a slider. Well, that didn't do any good because he didn't get it far enough outside. And Bagwell guessed right. He was leaning out on the pitch, and he took it right back up the middle rather than try to overpower it.
That's all it took for the runner at second, a single. So the Astros have 3 straight hits. And Ken Caminetti, who doubled and scored the first run on a wild pitch, is up again. Caminetti takes ball 1. Ken, in addition to creating the first run here with the extra base hit and then scoring with that good quick decision on the wild pitch, hurt Martinez in Los Angeles. Hit a 2-run homer off him to left field and a sacrifice fly for 3 of the 4 Houston runs against Ramon. And he lays off 2-0. We talked about the protection that Caminetti has been giving to Bagwell. And even though the Astros really do miss Steve Finley, offensively, they're doing all right.
Well, that guy. It's like having three batters up there the way he's driving in runs.
Caminetti, one hopper. Offerman shovels hard, and DeShields goes airborne to make it into a double play.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I do a lot of banquets. I guess that's well documented and have over the years, but that's the toughest to do. There's a ball outside because you're really not at your own pace, and you're relying on folks in the truck to give the cues. And I know the folks in the crowd understood it. And that's down low a ball, and I think the recognition that it's brought to the R.E. Bob Smith dinner and the job that HSE and Prime have done have really put that honor right up there now where it is, the Prestige College Award.
I think one of the speakers said last night, the Heisman Award for college baseball.
Ron Frazier, the Wizard of Baseball, former great coach at Miami.
Great job by Murphy Brown and all the folks at HSE and Prime.
There's a high pop to left, and Gonzo waiting. Rodriguez will be out to start the 4th. And don't forget the debut of Jennifer March as a public speaker. She was scared to death.
A little out of her element. Did a great job. Tell you what, who's doing a great job? Shane Reynolds moving that ball around.
Another guy doing a great job moving some groceries over to our right. The old coach. Did you have him on earlier?
Yeah, Carol Dawson was on.
There's a cracked bat bouncer to first. Bagwell will pick it. He'll wave off the pitcher, go to the bag. 2 quick outs for Reynolds in the 4th inning. Wrangler and I were talking about Carroll on radio. He's one of those guys. You talk about big lovable bears. That's what he is.
Well, he was probably one of the greatest athletes to ever play Texas high school sports.
Wasn't bad at Baylor either, was he?
Alba, Texas, and was a junior college All-America at Paris, Texas Junior College, and an All-America at Baylor. Just a great basketball player in his own right.
Don't fool around with him on the golf course either,
no,
right?
He's a scratch player in the golf course. And 15 years with the Rockets. He's done a super job, no doubt about it.
This is Mondesi, and dropped down and out a ball. It's 1-0.
I told him today, by the way, his old roomie and his old buddy Mickey Sullivan, the baseball coach at Baylor, retired today. He'll be now the assistant to the president at Baylor University in fundraising. But what a great baseball coach Mickey has been over the years, and we want to wish him all the best if he's listening tonight in Waco.
Well, is that where the baseball fandom came to Carroll then, having him as a roomie?
Yeah, that's right. They really enjoy the game of baseball.
Carroll comes to a lot of our games, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He really enjoys it.
I think he and Dennis Laborio are pals. Big rip. Mondesi bounced to third in the 2nd inning. 2 balls and a strike. Two guys will be battling it out for Rookie of the Year in this arena tonight. The guy batting and the guy down in our bullpen, John Hudek.
You know, talking about college coaches, we had some great ones last night. Going back to Mickey, the Baylor Bears have always had, you know, you talk about Texas and their success and the Aggies in Southwest Conference baseball, but those Bears, year in and year out, have put out some outstanding pitchers who have gone on to the major leagues and some good baseball programs. We're going to miss him.
Here is the 3-1 smashed foul. Oh, he hammered it. This guy is a good-looking young hitter, Bill.
Well, he does everything well. I like the way he runs. He's 100% all the way, plays good defense in the outfield, probably has as good an arm as there is of any outfielder in baseball. He's just an exciting young player to watch.
Talk about the coaches that were there last night. Mike Martin from the Seminoles at FSU. What about Danny Hall? First year at Georgia Tech and comes 9 innings away from winning it all. Oh, Splitter says, gotcha. 3 up, 3 down. He hit the ball hard and he got it accomplished by pounding it to second and moving Cammy over to third, where the wild pitch got him home. There's a smash foul by Hendo, our first base coach, Steve Henderson.
You know what I liked? Even though he hit that ball foul, he jumped right on it. I like the aggressive style. I think that's the only way to get out of a slump. You can't be up there taking pitches. You just got to go up and swing away until it starts to happen.
And you'll notice, remember when Piazza hit that bag awkwardly and then he limped a little bit. Then even when he went out to the mound for a conference, and he has been replaced now.
Well, they got Hernandez in there.
It should be. And it is.
Yes. Good call.
Ready for the 1-1 to Gonzo. Change floated outside.
Well, Piazza says, I'm not supposed to beat balls out in the infield.
And he barely did.
I'm supposed to trot around. Oh, boy, what a good pitch.
Yep, 2-2. Gonzo batting, Cedeno on deck, then Felder. Ball game in the 4th. Guy that the whole lineup and people on the bench have had trouble with. There's a strike call, blistered the kneecap. Man, he can hit some corners, this guy.
Well, kids, this Sunday you can be a part of the most colorful parade in Astros history in the 1994 JCPenney Salute to Youth Baseball Parade. Before the Astros-Dodgers game, you can parade with your own youth baseball team right here on the Astrodome field. For more information, call area code 713-799-9567.
First pitch to Cedeno, a ball. Cedeno walked in the 2nd inning.
First 2,000 kids also get a sports bottle.
Foul back. Was that a sight in center field when the hundreds of baseball gloves were given out free from the Steve and Amy Finley Foundation? Those kids out there jumping up and down. Probably a lot of them their first glove.
Oh, for sure.
Here's the 1-1 into the dirt, a ball, and it is 2-1. Martinez thrown that forkball in the dirt a couple of times tonight. One of them cost him a run.
Yeah, it did.
You know, he started to drop off the last 2 years. Some people thought maybe he was going to be in the same mold that Fernando Valenzuela was, that Tommy had workhorsed him and piled up a lot of innings on young arms. But I told Dirk, I says the reason the guy has bounced back this year is because he gained all that weight.
Yeah.
Fly ball left field. Left fielder back. And Gwynn is there on the track. And it's 2 away. You think he might be up to 175 pounds now, Martinez?
Yeah, if he's got rocks in his shoes. Cedeno had a good swing. He just didn't quite get on the ball. Actually, it sounded better than it finished up. I thought might be close to being out of here. Spin his swing a little bit.
This is Tiny Felder sporting a new number tonight.
He's a linebacker.
Well, he also, if you see his number's 51, he'd been wearing 28, but he also has 51 on the side of his head. Did you know about that?
No.
is a friend. There's a strike call. When we were in San Francisco, which is where he's from, that area, went back to the old neighborhood barber. And since Willie McGee had recently been hurt, he had 51 clipped in the side of his crop. And now he's wearing McGee's number. I kidded him. I said, you didn't pay for that haircut, did you? Bouncer second. DeShields up. And that'll make it a 1-2-3 inning.
That go out and watch Rice baseball, and they say that kid is fun to watch. He's going to be like the old man. He's a slasher.
Offerman fouled, and he fouled it right where the bat was. It was on an angle toward their dugout, and that's the angle it took.
Jose never saw a pitch he didn't like to hit. And he was one of the best bad ball hitters I ever saw play baseball. He'd take a pitch up over his eyes and slam it into left field. And boy, the young Cruz is going to be a real hitter.
Here is the 0-1. Bounced it up there, and when you think about it, how far that dinner has come. Carl Warwick and Ron Nixon, Gary Colt, of course. Salihemus, the quiet one of the group, but he really boosts it. There is a strike called. Norm Miller.
Yeah. Did you say Lee Agalnick?
Lee Agalnick, and his interest, of course, in the Carl Youngling. Line drive, Cedeno. Offerman out, one away in the 5th inning for Shane Reynolds.
And I'll tell you too, over and over they kept repeating to me last night how much they appreciate the support by the Astros, Milo, and it was good to look into the audience, and Dirk was there, Bill Brown, Tyler Barnes, all the front office for the Astros.
Jamie Hildreth, your old roomie.
Yep. The Astros.
Well, Drayton
really
bought 2 tables.
Yeah, and so that helps. That really does when you've got your professional team supporting the college baseball program.
Outside of ball, and of course, since you mentioned it in the context of the organization, Dr. McMullen being the great friend that he was to Vivian Smith, that's where that started. Here's the 1-0 and a strike, and I'm going to use your air to make up for a neglect last night, and I talked to him before, and how I ever forgot it. Alan Russell was there last night.
Oh, I didn't see Alan. Of course, I have my back to the dinner.
Yeah, I know. Lined out into center. Mouton might move a step or two, and Martinez out, makes it 2 away in the inning. Yeah, Alan Russell and Joe Russell there, and Sonny Sowell, he's on that committee. American League on the Boudreaux board. Baltimore leading Toronto 1-0 on a Sabo round tripper. Clemens in front of Milwaukee 2-0 after 2.5. Minnesota leading Kansas City 2-1. They are in the bottom of the 4th up in the Homer Dome. Texas will be at California later, Detroit at Oakland, and the White Sox will be in Seattle. This is Butler. Started the game with a single, was left at third, right on the hands, a call strike. With Shane Reynolds' stuff, and when he throws strikes, and I know you're going to say, well, you can say it about a lot of pitchers, but in Shane's case, almost doubly important that he throws strikes. And location, that's down a little. Won his last game, beat the Padres 6-1. Double job that he's done for this club, coming out of the bullpen early and then starting when Harnish went down. And Harnish will literally go down tomorrow, going to pitch a game at Tucson. Line drive, Candy. Whoa, what a reaction. Holy Toledo. 1-2-3.
Due to time constraints, we'll move ahead to the top of the 6th inning.
2 years in a row, and just as easy as can be. Very well organized.
And speaking of doing a job, who's editing and who's putting the package together for your Rocket special?
Well, Margaret's doing that. I think it's ready to go. That's Sunday night at 8:30 on HSE. It's called The Dream Season, and it will chronicle the entire season on the Rockets from that 15-0 start all the way to the Game 7 against the Knicks, plus the celebrations.
I got a kick out of CBS Morning News yesterday on their weather map, where it showed the weather for Texas right over Houston. It said a dream of a day.
And it was.
1 ball, 2 strikes to DeShields.
Hey, did you notice today Sports Illustrated changed its tune and it decided to publish that commemorative edition for the Rockets winning the World Championship? But I understand a lot of people in this area threaten to cancel.
There's a hit through the right side off the bat of Delino DeShields. He's 1 for 3. Starts off the 6th inning for the Dodgers with that clean single through the right side. Right in there for his strike.
Boy, what a good pitch.
0-2. Hernandez, of course, catching behind Piazza, doesn't play a lot. And he struck him out. And a strike to Wallach. DeShields edging a little. He's not going. And a bouncer. Biggio got to go get it. And he will throw on to Bagwell. That'll make it 2 away. He took a little peek at second, but with DeShields there was no play. Went right on through with it to first. It's 2 down. You know, this Dodger club, second in the league in hitting with a .280 average. You got to really scratch to find somebody to. There's a splitter that got away, and he hit him. So the runner will have to go back to second. DeShields. Hit batsman. There's a splitter that had too much on it, right?
That may have been his curveball, because it looked like it had a big break in it as it hit the dirt, and he came right over the top. It looked to me like that may have been the curve that got away from him. Yeah, there it is.
You saw the fingers split from the back.
But it moved over.
Well, probably put the pressure on the other finger.
Well, he might have, but I think he controls that splitter a little better.
All right, they've got 2 on with 2 out, and the batter, Chris Gwynn. Gwynn was a last-minute throw-in when Karras couldn't answer the bell, and with them down 3-0, the Dodgers are putting their bullpen to work. Tapper up the first base side, foul. Bagwell will go over to get it. Chris Gwynn back home now with Los Angeles, and hey, our bullpen's going to work. What's going on here? Our bullpen has Veers and Powell, righty lefty.
Oh, where was that? Boy, you know,
and a strike.
They don't call that high strike anymore, and I think it's forcing the pitchers to come right down the pipe to get a call strike, and these hitters are just teeing off on it. I thought that was a pretty good pitch.
I think another one of the thoughts on Terry Collins' mind, Shane Reynolds in the games that he's pitched called that a ball. He's squeezing him now. 2-1. Shane has had an inning where he ran into a brick wall, and this is the 6th inning. The oddity of that is that Shane's probably the best conditioned athlete on this whole ball club. But there's a difference in being conditioned and being pitch conditioned, isn't there?
He's straining a little bit. He's not as smooth as he was even when he started the inning.
And he got a tough hitter on deck, Mondesi.
Yeah, what he needs to do now is make a good pitch, and that'll get him out of it with 2 outs. Yeah,
Gwynn is not really a candidate to bust one out of here on you.
But that guy is.
Yeah, so make the guy in the batter's box put it in play.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Don't try to be perfect. 3 balls and a strike. Goodness sakes, Worrell knows enough about that. There's a foul up to the left side.
Yeah, I made a lot of those mistakes.
Hey, they're active down there.
Well, I think Gwynn's really upset. He thought he had a pitch to hit, but with the movement that Shane Reynolds has, if he's around the strike zone now, I'll tell you, with a 3-2 count, this might be another good situation if he feels like he's had pretty good control of that split finger to throw it here. Because Gwynn's got to be protective. He certainly doesn't want to take strike 3 call. So if he can get that split finger down in the strike zone, might be a good spot for it.
Well, Service talked to him about it. And there's a line drive hit into center. It'll get DeShields home. The Dodgers are on the board. They've got runners on the corners with 2 out. Made a mistake, made it too good. So Gwynn, who couldn't buy a hit against the Astros in his career, gets a big one there.
Well, Gwynn really went down and got a pretty good pitch. See that? That's a little downward movement on that split finger. And Gwynn with 3-2 on him might have been guessing exactly what I was talking about. And of course, that's easy for DeShields to score from second. So Terry now wants to go out and talk to him with 2 outs.
He's going to his pen, Bill.
Yep, and that's what he's going to do.
So here is Mondesi. Runners on the corners. Rodriguez hit by a pitch is at third. Gwynn with an RBI single is at first. 2 down. Veers will check the corners and bring it to Mondesi. Laid off of it. Veers, fastball in the 90s. Slider, and he too throws a split finger. Mondesi got such a big chaw tonight, he's standing up there lopsided. Ready for a 1-0. Started after it, asked for an appeal. No swing, says first base umpire Larry Vanover. Boy, it was worth the ask.
Well, he's being careful. Hasn't given him anything to look at here. That was very close on the outside part of the plate. Actually, you would pitch around him like this if you had runners on second and third, but you almost got to come after him. Veers has pitched to him like he's pitching around him, and they'll go to the outside part of the plate again.
High pop, shallow right center. Who's going to come on and get it? Tiny Felder. Side retired. Take a little mow away from LA. Biggio shows bunt and takes a strike. Biggio tonight 1 for 2. He raked the double into the left field corner. That brought Mouton home. Then he scored on a Bagwell single. Bagwell 1 away from 70 RBIs, and we're 10 games away from being halfway through a season. You don't suppose he'd challenge old Walt Dropo's 150, do you? If he played 162 games, he might. That's kind of vital for several big stars right now, isn't it? Fouled it back, got enough to stay alive. Biggio leading off in the 6th inning. Bagwell on deck, then Caminetti. Dodgers have out hit the Astros 5-4, but the Astros still leading. It's a 3-1 game, Houston. Right field and playable. Mondesi over. 1 down. Biggio out, going to the opposite side.
Here is tonight's Coors Light HSE upcoming schedule. We remind you now, we'll have the Reds Monday and Tuesday nights. Cincinnati in first place. Those are 2 huge games for the Houston Astros. And then they'll be in St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. The Cardinals right behind Houston. We'll have that for you Wednesday, July the 6th.
There's a high drive left field. I said he was close to 70. He's on 70. Holy Toledo, what a year for Bagwell. All-star credentials through and through. A new career high in homers. 21. 70 RBIs. They got the run back, Bill Worrell.
Boy, what a player this guy is. He's putting up some Hakeem Olajuwon stats for a baseball player. He's something else. I don't know how you can throw him a fastball, but they did, and he parked that baby way out of here. And did you see how high he hit it?
He's hitting a few that'll make the Bambino proud, I'll tell you. Way up under the orange seats over the left field scoreboard. A big whiff by Cammy. Astros now have hit 73 homers. They've hit 3 against the Dodgers. And as you might have guessed, Bagwell's got 2 of the 3. Caminetti's got the other one. And 2 of the 3 have been off Martinez. Whoa, a little tight on the shoulder. Cammy hit one off of him in L.A. Bagwell's homer in L.A. was off Candiati.
Well, it's just amazing the way he's putting up the numbers. And
Cammy will go down on that strike 2 count.
Bagwell's on a pace right now to break the club record for home runs and RBIs in August. I mean, he can put that record to rest and never have to sweat it.
3-2, but there is one serious threat to all of that.
The baseball possibility of a strike. Huh?
Yep. Hey, pretty good at bat after all, wasn't it?
It really was, coming back and drawing a walk. I don't think Martinez thought it was a walk, but
let's take a look at this guy's swing.
well, he got a fastball and it's curtains, and with that uppercut, so he knows it. He's going to take one more peek as he trots down to first base. And look at how high this ball is hit.
How high was it, Bill?
Well, I'll tell you what, it settled about midway into the red seats.
Last year when Bagwell hit 20 homers, he hit his 20th in the 124th game. Tonight he hit his 21st. There's a line drive singled into center off the bat of Gonzo.
And now here comes Gonzo. He finally got off.
He had a real good session of batting practice today, Bill.
Well, he was hitting the ball hard his first time up, and he's saying, okay, now I'll get going. You know, that could be a signal for him to get it going, and if he could get it going, boy, this ball club could take off on this homestand.
4-1 ball game, Houston. Bagwell 2 for 3, driven in 2 of the runs. Biggio has driven in a run with a double. A wild pitch got a run home. Here's Cedeno, a walk and a fly ball to left. 2 on, 1 out. Looper down the right side. It is a fair ball down over the bullpen mound. Mondesi runs into the wall. He'll throw it in, but a run is scored in the person of Caminetti, and Gonzalez is over to third. 5-1 Houston. Cedeno just sent a little looper down the right side, and it dropped just fair and then spun over by the bullpen mound.
Well, you got to have a little luck. The ball has been hit hard by Houston, and you got to have a few of these fall in, and that's exactly what happened for Cedeno. Mondesi made a heck of a play going over that mound. That's a tough play to make and not lose your balance, and Ron Peronowski has seen enough.
Runners on the corners here with 1 out. A chance to get another run if Tiny will just put it in play. And he put it in play into right field. Gonzo scores. 6-1 Astros. Tiny Felder with a leap and leaner right through the right side.
Well, you've heard of the old seeing eye hit, and that was one of them. Care tomorrow morning in the paper it's going to be an RBI, and he doesn't care what it looks like. It's good to get some production now out of your outfielders, you know, offensively. I think that's what was really hurting Houston at the tail end of that last road trip.
Indeed it was.
But you got Gonzalez getting a hit, and now you got Felder getting a hit.
Mouton's had a hit and scored a run tonight. Big cut coming up empty for Scott Service. He's 0 for 2. Astros now have out hit the Dodgers 8-5, leading the score 6-1. Service has looked at strike 3 called and caromed one off Martinez's body that went to the shortstop, and Offerman threw him out on a 1-6-3. McDowell in relief of Martinez. Service thought he made him wait too long, steps out on him. Still only 1 away. Threw it away, moved the runners up. And that was a big league wild pitch.
Well, I'll say. He really unleashed that one. Like he trying to overthrow a little bit. You know, he's been used in long relief. He's been a long man for Tommy this season, McDowell has, and yet coming into this season he was 33rd on the all-time save list, and well, that was about a 54-foot fastball.
Now the infield up tight all the way around. Service with a fly ball could do some good here. Cedeno third, Felder second. Trying to pad a 6-1 lead. Here's a suicide. And the catcher couldn't handle it. Another suicide for Scotty Service. His third one this year.
Tell you, Hernandez, I thought, did a pretty good job here. Now watch the way the ball's popped up. It's going to have some reverse English on it and come back to him, so he decides to try to make the play. But Cedeno did a good job, heads up base running, didn't slide, just kind of ran around the tag, if you will. And Service hustling down to first base. I'll tell you, that's a little that's Terry Collins giving Tommy Lasorda a little bit of his own medicine. Lasorda likes to use that squeeze and has done it successfully over the years.
And as Terry is doing it in that instance, he's using a big spoon.
Force feeding, right?
There's a bunt by Veers, who doesn't bat very often.
No, and that's not a suicide.
No.
That's trying to just sacrifice Service over to second. They're trying to stay out of the double play here.
In 15 games, this is only the second time Veers has been in the batter's box. By getting these extra runs, you can now send Veers back out there for another inning, and then you'll be set for the 8th and 9th. Here's the look. He bunts it, and the catcher will go get it. He will throw to first to Shields. That's 2-4 on a sack. Felder third, Service second. Here's Moo Town. They're mooing in the dome. Moo Town is 1 for 3 tonight. Third inning, had a hit, and it was a bunt single. Something you'd like to see this little guy do more of, Bill Worrell.
That's exactly what I said when he did it.
Take advantage of his speed. Line drive, left field, base hit. 1 run, 2 runs, add them up, put them on, and it's 9-1 Houston. Felder and Service score, so don't overlook that sacrifice by Veers.
Well, it was big. And the Astros now have done what they wanted to do. They've had a big inning, and they've blown this game open. Boy, if Mouton can come alive, if he can keep this up, this is really going to be a boost to this Astros ball club.
And Ron Peronowski's out there again.
Boy, McDowell has been shaky. The only out he's been able to get was on that sacrifice. And Peronowski will go back to the bullpen again. Well, Biggio started it all off.
He's the 10th man to bat in the inning. It's been a while since the Astros have had a big inning, and that's been one of the drawbacks recently on this club, of having that big inning to put somebody away. There's a line drive hit into right center, and Biggio collects his second hit of the night. Mouton second, Biggio first, and here comes Bagwell.
Here tonight, Sherwin-Williams team leaders in stolen bases, and Biggio with 22, Mouton with 20. Just wanted to get that back, get that in for you tonight. It's not a steal situation. Most runs in an inning by Houston this season is 6.
Well, Bagwell could change that.
Yes, he could.
He's had an RBI single and a home run.
You know what's really tough for Rudy, seeing as the pitcher, if you had runners on second and third, you could just walk him with 2 outs and not pitch to him. But now you got to pitch to him. Man, that's got to be a terrible thought.
If Bagwell would do it again, he'd send this city into another dither in a space of 48 hours, wouldn't he?
Yes, he would.
Ready for a 1-0, 2 on, 2 out. Whoa, that one took off, muscled up. 2 balls, no strikes.
You know, I see some parallels. It was amazing to me after watching Hakeem Olajuwon all these years. He finally got the national recognition by getting to the finals. If the Astros could make it to a World Series, I think that's all Jeff would need for the rest of the nation to realize what a great player he is.
Fouled off, and boy, he was going for it. What a he does not get cheated up there, does he?
No, he's a very imposing, strikes an imposing figure at the plate.
All that batting practice over the years, he's starting to get those forearms like Popeye too.
Well, that doesn't just come naturally. He probably works out as hard in the offseason as anybody I've ever seen.
And if it's a game where he doesn't have a good game, you go out, when we go out at night, you see his wife waiting patiently because he's down in the cage hitting. Threw another pitch away. That's their 3rd wild pitch.
Well,
that's good news, and it's bad news.
Well, now they'll put him on first. I think maybe the pitcher decided to just do that on purpose. Now Tommy will order him to walk Bagwell probably rather than pitch to him. Or maybe Tommy figures, hey, I'm down 9-1. I might as well pitch to him. But that's a quick way to get down 13-1. And then, of course, maybe you don't want to pitch to Caminetti being a switch hitter in this situation.
Well, they're going to pitch to him. Boy, make it be in the zone.
Yep.
3-1 pitch. High foul.
Oh.
The guy that just took the biggest deep breath in the place was Cianez.
Well, and Hernandez. Hernandez was set up on the outside part of the plate, and that baby came right down the middle.
Astros in front 9-1. We're in the 6th inning, a 6-run inning here. Bagwell's already had a good night. He could put a cap on it. Ready for a 3-2. Runners 2nd and 3rd, 2 down. Line down toward the right field corner. He'll go up again. Out of here! Out of here! Out of here! When you're hot, you're hot. And Bagwell, fans, is hot.
Look at those numbers on that young man. He hit one when he got one the last time up. This time he's on the outside part of the plate, and he takes it to right field. And fellas, I'm here to tell you how strong you've got to be to muscle one out to right field in this ballpark. Man, what a hitter. What a player.
Lee May did 2 homers in 1 inning.
That was back in 1974. The Big Bopper.
Yeah, that was about the time Bagwell was going to kindergarten.
I know Lee May would appreciate what we have seen. We've seen a home run hit as far as you can hit one to left, and one muscled over the right field fence in right field. Now that's not, if that's not using all the field.
What's the score of this game? Does anybody know?
Well, it's 11-1, isn't it? Well, heading into the 7th inning, Dave Veers back out on the mound now, and what a nice cushion he has. 12-1. The Astros leading thanks to a huge night by Jeff Bagwell, leading the way with a couple of home runs, and here to take us the rest of the way. And I don't think, if you can't save this one, Bill Brown, I'm going to give it to you 12-1.
Well, when Dave Veers came in, it was a little tight situation, wasn't it?
It really was.
3-1 ball game. And a strike to Offerman makes it a ball and 2 strikes. That's what a 9-run inning will do. 12-1. Jeff Bagwell joining those in baseball history with 2 homers in 1 inning. Quite an exciting night here. Offerman's 1 for 2. Fouls it back. It'll be interesting to see, and it would be too early to tell, Bill. We'll have to wait probably a few weeks if the Astros are able to put a nice surge together. whether it was something of an emotional carryover from watching the Rockets do it. Something that's happened in other years in other cities.
Well, Bill, I've seen it happen right here. Treadway coming in now to bat as Offerman walks down to first.
Jeff Treadway is the pinch hitter. He's hitting .333 for 36 at bats. There's ball one of the former Cincinnati Red. Offerman's not being held on. Strike call makes it 1-1. Treadway gets on the top of it and fouls at first base side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jeff, native of Georgia. Line drive out toward right center. Mike Felder got a good jump. Gets a chance to get a feel for the action here in the Astrodome in this series. There's ball 1 to Dave, who has had only 18 at bats, hitting .222. As a pinch hitter, he's 4 for 7. As a pinch hitter, he's 4 for 17. Hansen fouls it back. 2 balls and a strike. Line drive foul. He doesn't give up an at bat. It doesn't matter what the score is. Foul ball back by Hansen. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dave. Runner goes, and there's a foul ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Runner goes again, and again it's a foul ball.
Or Sandberg, who's already retired from baseball, may have to come out of retirement to start at second. He's second in the voting. So I mean, it's just a crazy system, and it's turned into too much of a popularity contest. It's whoever puts the most fans in the stadium and who can punch out the most cards.
Sparky Anderson came up with a suggestion several years ago. He said let the fans vote like they are now and count that as 1/3 of the total. Give it 1/3 of the weight of the votes. Runner goes, and there's no, well, it's ball 4 anyway, as Hansen's aboard now. 2nd walk of the inning.
So the fans do get to vote, but it only counts as a third. And then the sports information directors and the writers chip in for the other 2/3. And that's pretty equitable way of doing it, I think.
There have been some fine winners, and they have really deserved those awards. 2-0. It's a thought.
I kind of thought it might happen with Bagwell when the first ballot was released because of the way people vote, but the way he kept putting the numbers up, I thought by the second release he would have made up some ground, but he certainly hasn't.
No.
And of course, the Astros haven't played a lot of home games either.
Nope.
They've been on the road, so the fans here haven't had a chance to vote.
3-1 now.
But it's just terrible that you would have to count on that.
Well, here's another question for you. Should the managers of the 2 teams select the reserves, or should they be taken out of that process? 3-2. In other words, Jim Fregosi is probably going to bend over backwards to take some of his players who don't get voted in, as Bobby Cox has done, and so on down the line. Just about any manager would feel the pressure to take players of his own who have done something worthwhile of all-star consideration. Base hit to left center. Gonzalez will throw in toward third. Offerman scores to make it 12-2. And now Hernandez, the catcher. He struck out in the 6th. Entered for the injured Mike Piazza. And strike 1 to Hernandez. One suggestion might be don't let Cito Gaston or Jim Fregosi in this case choose the reserves. Have someone else do it. Another panel or committee do it. Pop fly. Caminetti calls. Cedeno behind him, and he makes the catch. It's an infield fly. Fouls that one back for strike 1. Snyder's had some big days against the Astros, especially when he was with the Giants a few years ago. He has a career .343 average against Houston. Those are his numbers this year overall against the league. Former Cleveland Indian slugger who hit 33 homers in his best year. It's 0-2 to Snyder. He was a star at BYU.
Long time ago.
We're going back a few years. As each year advances, we don't like to do that so much anymore. And the pitch outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. He's down on strikes, and Veers gets it together in the 7th inning. Brian Barnes, the young lefty, formerly with Montreal and Cleveland, comes in as the Astros come up in the bottom of the 7th inning, leading 12-2. Faces Luis Gonzalez, who broke the 0 for 26 with a line drive single in the 6th inning. Fly ball to center, and Mondesi, who's just moved over, goes deep into center to track it down. One out. The Dodgers have made a number of changes defensively. Well, Mondesi has moved from right. Brett Butler out of the game. 1 out for Brian Barnes on 1 pitch, and Andujar Cedeno will be next. The Astros are still looking at a lot of different left-handers for the Dodgers in the bullpen. Barnes has pitched 3 innings without allowing an earned run for the Dodgers in his brief time with them.
I've always liked his stuff. I think you saw a little bit of that with that screwball he just threw to Cedeno. He's always had a good arm. I don't think Montreal ever liked him because of his size. They tried to make him a starter for a while, and he did move into the rotation for a while, but always ended up back in the bullpen. I see he's got good action. He's got good stuff.
Al Osuna did well for a while for the Dodgers, but he's been sent to Albuquerque. And Barnes among the new arrivals. Omar Dahl just rejoined the team.
Gary Wayne. They auditioned quite a few folks.
Yeah. He's Steve Wilson there for a few years now. And Cedeno strikes out. 2 outs. Joey Malfitano, the Dodgers' fine third base coach, was talking before the game about when John Candelaria used to pitch for them. And even in his declining years, he could still get left-handed batters out. But this left-handed spot in the bullpen, ever since Steve Howe left, has been a source of concern. Mike Felder drove in a run in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3. Ball 1 from Barnes. Barnes was traded over the winter to Cleveland for Randy Milligan. And then the Dodgers picked him up. He made his debut for them on the 18th of this month. Fly ball out into left center. Felder has put it out there deep, and Mondesi off the wall. Felder's going for 3rd. Here's the throw, and it's not in time. Mike Felder triples off the wall in left center. His first triple of the year.
Boy, Mike jumped on that like I've never watched him jump on this pitch. Boy, he just whipped that bat around. Now the outfield's playing him shallow because he's really not noted for that kind of power. And he hit it all the way to the wall. Now he's trying to decide what to do with 2 outs, whether he should try to be the 3rd out or hold up at 2nd. And he said, hey, I want that triple on my resume.
He has it. Felder in with a triple. He went in head first. Scott Service the batter now. Service put down a squeeze bunt. Strike to Scotty. He is 0 for 2, but with that squeeze, the Astros got an important run home in the 6th with their 9-run explosion. Service into right center. Mondesi streaking, and it's a hit. The Astros get another run home to make it 13-2, and Service now has driven in 2 in this game to give him 27. Mondesi really cut across and made a strong bid. It's a Night for some people to get well again at the plate, Bill.
Well, this is fun. This is like going to a basketball game for me. Look at all these runs. Look at all these points.
(13-2) on the 13th hit, and Dave Veers bats for the second time in the game.
Well, the Knicks had a few 13-point quarters.
Yeah. 1-0 the count.
Worn out 2 pencils. This is great.
Veers.
Oh my
goodness. Center, yes. Dave Veers gets his first major league hit right off the end of the bat. He can save the ball, but the bat's going to be in a couple of pieces. Well, it's still in one piece, but it's cracked. So Veers will get a baseball thrown out of play to keep in his trophy case.
I thought Martinez had pretty good stuff, and he did. He was just sitting on the a volcano waiting to erupt. Everybody's hitting. This is one of those nights. You know, if you ask Terry Collins after the game, he might want to split this game up and save some of these runs for later.
Sure he would. The Astros lost 8-0 Tuesday night, and they lost 14-5 Wednesday afternoon. Now they're ahead 13-2. James Mouton has 2 hits and 2 runs batted in. He's the 6th man to bat in the inning. Barnes throws, strike 1. Tough night for the Dodgers. They came in having lost 5 of their last 7. With a loss tonight, they would drop back to the 500 mark. It's a ball and a strike to Mouton. They haven't been at 500 since they were 17-17. Mouton looks, and it's a strike. 1-2 to James.
Wouldn't that be a story if an expansion team in its 2nd year, Colorado, could win a division championship, and after tonight, if they could get a win, they'd only be 2 out.
Quite a story. You're right. They're getting waxed at the moment, 8-2 by San Francisco in the middle of the 4th inning. But at that stadium, who knows if that'll hold up.
That's right.
Yeah, Mouton went around striking out, and that ends the 7th inning. 5th inning gets underway. The Dodgers trailing the Astros 13-2. Meanwhile, in Cincinnati, the Reds got 2 in the bottom of the 8th inning to tie the Padres 2-2. San Diego failed to score in the top of the 9th. Cincinnati is batting now in the bottom of the 9th with the game tied at 2. Henry Rodriguez was hit by a pitch last time, and there's strike 1 to Rodriguez, who's 0 for 2 in this game. Dave Veers came in with a 3-1 lead in the 6th inning and 2 men on. He got Mondesi. No balls, 2 strikes. Veers would get a save if the Astros hold on to win. There's the swing and the miss. Now the belated attempt and the throw out on the strikeout of Rodriguez. Veers gets the ball and will go to work on Chris Gwynn next. Gwynn knocked in a run with his 6th inning single. And that sent Shane Reynolds to the showers. But Shane has had exactly the opposite fortune he had against the Dodgers in Los Angeles.
You know, isn't it funny, though, how one pitch could change a game? Veers, remember now, if you go back to that situation, he was down in the count to Mondesi and made a tough 2-0 pitch to get out of that situation and leave it at 3-1, and then the game. The Astros were able to break it open.
And he really went from there with the 9-run 6th inning. But at the time, Veers was under a lot of pressure to make that pitch. Fouled back, 2 balls and a strike. And
he's got a lot of confidence in his slider. He'll throw it under any circumstance.
He loves that slider, and it's his best pitch. 3-1.
Reminds you a little of Larry Anderson. You remember he'd throw it. He'd almost throw it too much. He didn't throw that fastball some.
3-2 to Gwynn. Veers doesn't throw it as much as Andy did, but it is old reliable for him.
He's done a pretty good job since being called in.
Really been a very, very pleasant surprise. Line drive deep to right. Felder going back, and whoa, it goes out. Chris Gwynn as his second of the year. It's been a little strange. You might think that after getting out of the jam he would just cruise along, but he ran into the control problems in the 7th and walked 2. What more does a man need in life than all those things? 1 ball and 1 strike. Reds come in starting Monday night, so this weekend series really important for Houston. There's another long ball. Mondesi has ripped it out. Back-to-back homers by the Dodgers. Mondesi gets his 11th. Jose Offerman 1 for 2 with a walk. Scored a run last time up. There's strike 1 from Dave Veers. Now Omar Dahl's heading for the bullpen for Los Angeles. That's into center field, and Offerman's aboard. 3 straight hits by the Dodgers with 1 out here in the 8th inning as they trail by 9. Treadway flied out to right in the 7th. Bagwell to first. 2 outs. It's a takes, and it's strike 1.
You know, I was really happy. You get 3 out of 4 in San Francisco, but if you look at the track record, the Astros have always had trouble in the 2 ballparks where they lost, and that continues to be a problem with them this season.
Doesn't it though?
San Diego doesn't have half the team Houston does, but they play well.
One way usually to change a team's fortunes when it has problems in a given city is to change the team. And there were a lot of changes in the bullpen, as you know, but still problems. The Astros went to Mile High. Biggio to get Hansen, and that ends the top of the 8th. Craig Biggio leads it off. He has 2 of the Astros 14 hits. Jeff Bagwell's on deck. Ryan Barnes hits the outside corner with strike 1. There's always a buzzing of sorts about a player like Bagwell when he's hit homers 2 consecutive times and he's on deck. Everybody wondering what the next at bat will bring. Corey Snyder in right.
I bet he doesn't get a chance to hit a home run here. I'd be surprised. That's what Barnes is going to do. That's what I'd do. I'd keep it out of that strike zone, throw him a lot of soft stuff.
A ball and a strike. Two balls and a strike to Jeff. Bagwell makes a bid. Could it be? Win at the wall. 3 home runs in the game for Jeff Bagwell. What an unbelievable night for the Astros slugging first baseman. 3 homers in his last 3 trips to the plate in this game. Now it's 6 runs batted in and 23 home runs for the year. What a show. Bob Watson loves it. He's right next door and he is taking it all in.
Come out and take a curtain call, Jeff. They want you. The fans want you to come out and tip the cap.
He's shy about that. Ken Caminetti takes ball 1. They're not going to let him stay in that dugout.
Yeah, come on out. That a boy. What a performance.
3 home runs in the game by Bagwell. Caminetti fouls it. We'll have to go back to Lee May again.
And Jimmy Wynn.
Yes.
And Glenn Davis. That's the 5th time in Houston history. Wow.
Select company. And when Glenn Davis left, many thought they wouldn't see another pure power hitter in the Astrodome for a long time.
I can't believe Barnes got it anywhere around the plate. Man, is he hot.
3 home runs and 6 runs batted in 1 game.
He's had a month tonight.
3 balls and a strike. Bagwell was player of the week last week in the National League.
Well, he's player of the week today. He's had a whole week today. I know there's some Dodger pitchers that did not get in tonight's game, Bill, who are sitting over there probably saying, man, am I glad I didn't.
Let's look at number 3 in a row.
All right, let's see. It looked like he tried to turn it over. Well, no, he tried to come in and he got it up just a little bit. Man, what a hitter.
4 hits in the game, and this one again had hang time like the first home run, and there's the curtain call.
Well, another similarity between the Astros and the Rockets. You know, the Rockets followed the broad shoulders of Olajuwon. You have to have that great player to lead the way, and Bagwell may be emerging now as the type of player who is good enough to carry a team. And they're now talking about the 3rd time.
On the ground, Gonzalez gets it into center field for another hit. Cedeno now waiting as the conference takes place at the mound. Okay. Cedeno with strike 1. It's select company. And this is the 8th, so it appears, unless there's a tremendous inning again underway, no more at bats for Bagwell in this game to tie the major league record of 4.
Well, Bill, he started out hitting .348. He's now at .355. He started out with 20 homers. He's now at 23. He started out with 68 RBI, and he's now at 74 RBI. Man.
2 balls and a strike. One of those rare young performers who comes along every now and then and just excites people the way he improves. Last year he hit .320, and many thought, well, that was a nice ceiling for a batting average. Now who knows what he can do. Cedeno drives the ball to the gap in left center. That's bouncing off the wall. Caminetti scores. Gonzalez is coming in to make it 16-4. Cedeno's driven in 3 tonight. That puts him at 31.
37 home runs, definitely in danger. And the 110 RBIs, he could have that by the end of July.
Mike Felder takes the first pitch. He has 2 hits.
Well, you know, he's got 74 RBIs now. It's only the 24th of June. Man.
And his month-by-month production almost looks like an assembly line. He just hasn't had a slump. 0-2 the count.
Now, if you want to project it on out, he's headed for a 49 homer season. Right around 50 homers.
Hansen takes a look at the runner, throws low, and the throw is not held onto by Rodriguez. Well, Felder reaches on the error. 1 out, 2 on for Scott Service. Service puts one in the air to left for Gwynn. And he gets it back into the infield after Service flies out.
I think he'd gone over his limit. Because if Terry wants to have him around this weekend to use out of the bullpen, I don't think he wanted him to throw. He'd thrown a lot of pitches.
Yeah, he had a lot of long counts. Went 2 1/3. Gave up 4 hits and 3 runs. This one gets away, and Stankiewicz will move out of the way as the runners move up. Now there's a little loss of concentration at this point in the game. 16-4.
Yeah, everybody's trying to get home in a hurry.
2-0 the count to Stankiewicz. 3-0 from Brian Barnes. Ball 4 loads the bases. Bases loaded.
I thought Barnes was it, but apparently he's it to leave the game.
Well, he was recalled yesterday from Albuquerque. For the Dukes, he was 4-2 with a save and a 5.19 ERA for them. He was with the Dodgers from April 20th through May 23rd, and you saw his numbers for that time. Luton swings at the first pitch, hits it to center. And Mondesi takes care of it. 1 pitch, 1 out to end the 8th. Curtain calls all around in this city. It's been a wonderful few days. Now here's Mitch Webster leading it off as a pinch hitter of the 9th against Tom Edens. And ball 1 comes in to Webster, the switch hitter. .291, 2 homers, 10 runs batted in for Mitch. Fouls it back. It's a ball and a strike. We referred earlier to his remark, and it seemed to be a very appropriate one, Bill, that as the Dodgers had heard when they came to the Astrodome for the first time today, the ball had been carrying a lot better here in Houston this year. He said, well, Los Angeles might now be the toughest home run park in the league for a night game because the air is so much heavier at night in LA than it is during the day. Well, with this kind of an offensive explosion, we're far from Dodger Stadium atmosphere here. 2 homers by the Dodgers, 3 by Jeff Bagwell. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Webster, the 35-year-old veteran. He was drafted by the Dodgers, but then got away. Toronto took him in the major league draft, and he wound around through the majors on a trail that took him to Montreal, the Cubs, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and traded back to the Dodgers in July of '91. He appeared a couple times as a pinch hitter in the series in LA against the Astros. Strike 3 call. Tom Edens gets out number 1.
Tell you what, Mitch, that's too close to take when you're down 16-4, because I'm sure Mr. Jerry Davis, the umpire, wants to get out of here. Now that may have been borderline low, but with 2 strikes on you, you better be swinging.
Now Hernandez, fly ball to right, deep to right. Felder's at the wall. Oh, what a play, Mike Felder. He picked it right off the Texas Rangers out there.
He never reached up for that, did he? I thought he was bracing himself with his glove hand on the wall, Bill, and the ball just kind of hit there. I want to give him all the benefit of the doubt. And there he is. He's going to the wall, and he sticks his glove out. What a great catch that was. Wow.
Nice play by Felder.
It's been a night of great plays by Houston.
Now 1 more out to get to nail it down. Corey Snyder's the batter. He struck out first time up. That's strike 1 to Snyder. Shane Reynolds qualifying for his 5th win. Ramon Martinez his 4th loss. That one's slicing out of play. It's 0-2 to Snyder as they scramble for a late inning souvenir. Souvenirs aplenty. Jeff Bagwell's hit 3 of them on fair balls. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Tomorrow night it's Brian Williams and Pedro Astacio. Astacio shut out the Astros in Los Angeles. With Shane Reynolds being on the losing end of that 1-0 game. What a difference this game makes. Astros had lost the last 2 series, but now they're back to that great success in series openers. They are 18-6. To be 19-6 in series openers this year. 2-2, and a win here tonight would make them 11-1 in home openers. Nothing like getting off on the right foot, and they have really done that in an amazing way tonight. 3-2 the count. Cincinnati Reds coming in Monday night. They posted their win 3-2 in 10, so the Astros will stay 2.5 behind Cincinnati. And Edens gets the strikeout to end it. A historic night for Jeff Bagwell, who ties a club record with 3 home runs in this game. He drives in 6. The Astros win 16.